Welcome back to lesson number 5, letting it go and forgiveness. This is a big lesson, and it's the only one really that we go over there. But we need to let this stuff go because we're dragging around all this pain and worry with us into the future. We have to cut these cords with love and just let all of this stuff go. We don't need it. We can't change the past, and it's not relative to our future. The only bit that is relative, as we learned in week 3, is this moment, because this moment creates your future. So forgiveness has to come from your heart center. If it comes from the mind, your mind will tell you, don't forgive that person. Forgive them a little bit, but don't forgive all of it. So you don't let your mind get involved with this. Bring yourself to your heart center. This week is all about self-love. So make sure that you surround yourself with beautiful flowers, nice bubble baths, lovely music, all the things that you really enjoy, so that you've got this security blanket around you, if you like. So we don't know a lot about forgiveness. It's about a 2,000-year-old phrase. And more and more, we're beginning to see that forgiveness is such an important part of your mental well-being. And for me, it's one of the key steps that we have to do before we can move forward. So we can't change the past, as we've just discussed. Carrying guilt and regret will become your future. We have to learn to let it go. But we have to do this in the present moment. This is so vitally important this week. So keep checking in on yourself constantly. So we're going to forgive ourselves, others, and situations. But for the most part, you are forgiving yourself. Don't worry about everyone else. The universe will deal with that for you. Karma will deal with that for you. You just need to disconnect yourself from all of this negative vibration, this tie that you've got with all of these situations. Nothing you ever had done to you can touch the essence of you. We've talked about you're an energy being. You are pure, creative, love energy. So this symbol is indicative. You're shiny already. You're bright. You're perfect in every respect. The pain and the damage that you feel is part of you. It's really just in the mind. It's memories of things that have happened to you. So we know that the mind is not who we are. It's fake. It's an illusion. So just allow yourself to let these things go so that you can have a better life in future. Now, karma may have been created through some of these things, but you're not in charge of karma, neither am I. The universe is. At the end of our lives, there's kind of I imagine it like a tick list, and whatever will be, will be. So again, don't let this be part of your concern. If you've done something bad, there will be a point, an element in life that you will have to repay this. But for now, we're going to correct it. We're building ourselves to be better humans. So again, just let that go. Don't worry about it. Accepting ourselves, the good, the bad, and the ugly, is really important. We're human after all. We make mistakes. We will have done things in our younger years that we're not so proud of. But every moment we have a choice how to be. So from this moment forward, we're going to change the way we are. We're going to become better humans, and we're going to orchestrate life in a better way. And whatever we have to pay back on what we've done already, so be it. We live plenty of lives. When you get yourself to this place of being in a positive state, it actually doesn't matter what happens in life, because it doesn't affect you. You're no longer doing this. You're no longer caught in this wheel of repeat. You are in a higher place of consciousness. It's almost like you laugh at the face of fear. You look from a transcended view and you say, I see you, but you're not in it. You haven't got the muddy wellies on. You're kind of in this higher plane of consciousness where it doesn't affect you anymore, which is beautiful. So the first step to forgiveness is acceptance. You have to accept what you've done. You have to be responsible for it. You have to accept that it's time to let go. Making a conscious decision to change your life forever. So take out your journals and we're going to start with the homework that you've got to do this week. So while you're just pulling your journals out, have a think of something that you are going to forgive, something that weighs heavily on your mind. And this is going to be the first thing that you're going to write on your forgiveness page in your journal. So let's say that, for example, let's use one of my examples. Let's say I want to forgive my father for not giving me the love and care and attention that I craved as a child, trying to be as good as he was. He was a pilot, an actor, a draftsman in the RAF. He was everything. And as the eldest child, I always wanted to be as good as him. But I never got this. I constantly tried and craved this attention, which obviously affected me as I went through life. But the treasure is that it made me as strong as I've become today, which means I can now support others and help others in this career that I've now found is the right way. So there is always treasure. Finding the treasure makes the pain worthwhile. So if you can write as your first paragraph, the first thing that you're going to forgive, and you may have already made some notes in a previous module of the things that you're going to forgive. So I forgive Daddy for not giving me the care and attention that I craved as a child. This is your first paragraph. Now, underneath this, I want you to leave a space that's about the same sort of size so that you can go back and list what the treasure is. So my treasure is that through this process of what I called neglect before, actually has allowed me to become the strong, stand-up citizen that I have become to enable me to meet my goals. So actually, that is my treasure. So everything that you are listing to forgive, I want you underneath to list the treasure. This is going to help you accept these points. It's going to help you go, aha, I see this. It's going to help you think differently and allow you to be able to cut these ties, these cords that are holding us onto all this pain. So there's a little technique that I can show you here about transmuting the pain. So if you close your eyes and just take a nice deep breath and just let everything go, just relax. Everything is perfect in this moment, as we know. And I want you to think this first thing that you're going to write on your list that you're going to forgive. And I want you to step fully into this in your heart center. Now, this might feel a little bit uncomfortable, especially if it was something that was painful to you in your upbringing. But I want you to sit in this feeling, whatever it is. So let this feeling become a ball of energy. And at the top of this ball of energy, let's make it really dark. This is all the pain and the sorrow and the worry and the perceived bad energy that is associated with this first thing that you're going to forgive. So just sit in this for a second. Might be a little bit uncomfortable, but everything is fine. And at the bottom of this ball of energy is pure white at the bottom. So I just want you to sit in this for a couple of moments. And I want you to transmute. So as you sit in it and you push yourself through this, accepting more and more and more and more, feeling it, seeing that it's not as bad as you had perceived. The mind is not involved. Your focus is on your heart center. And just keep pushing down and down and down, because love and hate are the same thing. The yin and yang is part of the same circle. Everything begins and ends continually. So as you're accepting and pushing down, imagine this dark pain is getting lighter and lighter in colour. You're now gone through the pale greys and you're now going into the whites. Just breathe out all the pain and begin to start feeling, actually, I can feel the treasure. I can feel this lightness. Just allow yourself to get to the bottom of this ball of energy until you're in the brightest, whitest, divine light, where the pain is gone. You have been able to transmute this by sitting through and accepting it all the way to the base. You've gone 360 degrees. You have sat in this and allowed it to not only be let go, but change the fundamental essence of the pain to treasure in one exercise. So when you're ready, you can bring yourself back into the room. So, have you felt how different that feels when you transmute this? Now just have a look at your mind. So now you can go to your mind. Just have a little think about what that thing makes you feel. It's nowhere near as bad, right? It's kind of like gone. You've transmuted it. So anything you get really stuck with on your list, go through this transmutation. Take your time. It may take you a couple of weeks again to go through this process, but I'm teaching you all the tools and it's up to you how long you want to take to go through all of these steps. But this will really help you find your way of accepting everything, identifying the treasure, and being ready really to let go of all of this pain. It is a process. Now, because humans kind of have to feel that they're letting go in a physical way, the next process I'm going to show you is surrender, which is part of it. But we kind of need to let it out. So we're either going to breathe it out or sweat it out or go to the bathroom and let it go. There needs to be this kind of flow of watching it leave our body, because otherwise we'll feel that it's still inside us. I'm going to show you one technique that I used, which was amazing. I felt amazing after I'd done it. It did take me a long time to get to this point. So there is no rush. Be gentle on yourself. That's why this week is all about self-love, self-care, and loving yourself. So the next process is about surrender. And you will know when you've surrendered because you will no longer ask yourself this question. I never really understood this in the beginning. But you get to the point where you're just like, I've let it go. Everything's fine. It doesn't worry you anymore. And your mind can't then re-stir all these stories. The pain has been let go. So this is the surrender. This is all the junk, the pain. You've looked at it. You've sat in it. You've found the treasure. You've transmuted the bits that were difficult. And you're now in a place to be able to say goodbye, letting it go. So the technique that I used was I did all the work that I've explained to you. I went to Ibiza. I sat on a mountain and meditated, getting all of these memories, really, these labels in my pain body shadow that I had done the work on, but were still sitting in my body. I then, in my meditation, imagined this beautiful glass box with pink velvet lining, and with my breath, I exhaled all of this pain from the pit of my stomach into this glass box, closed the lid, and said the mantra that you're going to incorporate this week into your morning and evening routine. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Me. I love you. You. Thank you. So I said this 11 times in my meditation until I felt completely at peace. And then in my imagination, opened the lid of the box and watched a million beautiful colored butterflies fly out. I had transmuted all of my pain into this most incredible sight and watched them disappear into the universal stars, into the inky blue sky, and then shut the lid. The box was empty. My stomach, my being was no longer toxic. I had allowed myself to let go of all of this pain that I had been carrying all of my life. So you can do this technique, or there are many other techniques that you can use. You don't need to use butterflies. You can have gold flakes. You can have whatever you want. Just imagine, make it yours. This is your journey. Make it the way that feels right for you. But I have to tell you, after I finished this technique, I felt about half the physical weight of who I am. It was amazing, just letting go of all of this stuff that was holding me back and making me miserable. So enjoy this process, and do something that works for you at home. The only thing that will stop us from surrendering is fear, is ego, is your mind. This is why it's really important. And I think you can begin to see now why I put the steps in the way that I do. You can't do forgiveness work unless you've learned to live in the moment, to control the mind, to have expanded the mind. All of this stuff is a step-by-step process to get you to this higher state of consciousness. So fear, as we know, keeps us numb. It keeps us middle spectrum. It keeps us asleep. It keeps us in pain, in fear, in worry. It blocks our exuberance and excitement to the point that we become paralyzed with fear. You only need to see the people on the train. I live in London, and going on the tube in the morning is quite an experience. Everyone is so isolated, so miserable, so absorbed with all of these memories. You can see everyone is thinking all the things that the mind is feeding them. People are really miserable. So we want to get rid of this. This is part of the forgiveness process. To replace fear with love, you must first face it. This is what this transmuting is, sitting in it. I would imagine that none of you have ever gone into this place of pain and sat there. It takes a lot of courage to do this. So well done. It's nowhere as bad doing it as it is a thinking about it. It's just part of the process. And we're scared of being brilliant. We are all unique beings. There isn't one pair of us on this planet. We're all here for different purpose. We've all chosen different qualities. We all have a different path. We are all unique. Until you've learned to allow yourself to forgive, you cannot come into your essence, your true, unique essence of being who you are. So the sooner you do this work, the better. and then you will be released a lot from your mind. Don't be afraid to be brilliant. Stay in the moment. Do this work with love, loving yourself. This is the secret. So this affirmation that I told you about, the visualization, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you, is from Ho'oponopono. I probably said that wrong again, but anyway, you can see it. This is an ancient system of forgiveness that was created by a village of elders to keep the community clean. And it's the most beautiful little book. It touches a little bit on the law of attraction and a few other techniques in here. So read this one. It will take you a couple of hours. It's so worth it. So you're going to write this one on your bathroom mirror. You can either replace the I am powerful with this if your cup runneth over now. If it doesn't, you can do this one in addition to, if you still feel like you need the support of the I am powerful affirmation. And I want you to do this for the next month, morning and evening, and really say it to yourself. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Not anyone else, you. Thank you. Always with gratitude at the end. So, nature, again, this week is going to be really good. Staying out in nature, seeing the beauty, drinking it all in. When we spend time in nature, in gratitude, this is going to help us with self-love. Being conscious, being in gratitude equals well-being. And being flexible like bamboo means that you won't snap. So we all look at nature and don't see the lessons that it's trying to teach us. You imagine that a big oak tree that's 400 years old would be the master of the forest. But no. A big oak tree, when the wind blows in a storm, life snaps. This is what humans are like. We break, we snap, because we're so rigid in fear that it doesn't take very much to cause devastation. If you were like bamboo, which is the strongest, tallest, most beautiful plant on the planet, and you are flexible and you go with life's winds, you're going to be able to be more resilient. Plus, it's a beautiful looking plant. So whenever you're feeling stressed, get yourself into this mode of flexibility. I don't recommend that you stand like a piece of bamboo. People might think you're a bit weird. But, just go with the flow and enjoy it. So really, to be in flow, to be detached like a tree doesn't mind if you cut its branch off. It doesn't matter if it's winter or summer. It just minds its own business and it stands there and it just is. It's a tree. So detachment is something that we can learn a lot about from nature as well. To be sorry and forgiving. To be grateful and in gratitude. And to be consciously awake in a higher state of being will mean that you're well, you're mentally well. Now, there's another lovely thing that you can do with this affirmation. So once you're shiny and you are authentic and you're coming into your brilliance and you're beginning to shine and be this amazing light being that you are, then when something happens in life, let's say somebody cuts you up on the road and you're already winding the window down and shouting at them, and then you're like, oh my God, I wish I'd never done that. They might follow me. Maybe I was on a camera. My children have heard me say that. Actually, that was my next door neighbor. See what happens? You're back over here. You're back in the mind. You're back in ego. This place is not where you want to be. You don't want to ever have to go back to the mud. We've just crawled out of it. So by saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you, means you're doing that. You're wiping it clean. Immediately that has happened, The mind, therefore, will not store the memory and will not be able to throw it back at you and drag you back to the mud. So use this ongoing when you finish your work. So it's got two different functions, this saying, and it's amazing. And when you've read the book, you'll really understand a little bit more about this technique. It's so simple. But to be honest, all the processes that I'm teaching you are simple. There's nothing hard. It's just different to what we've been taught as we've been through life. Now, gratitude this week is going to be your saving grace, because the mind is going to go, no, 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 I don't want to forgive them. It's going to try and get busy. So being in gratitude is going to help you come out of the mind into the heart center where you need to be. So if you think of all of this, that every incident in life is an opportunity to grow. It's exciting. Everything's exciting. You don't have to worry about, oh, I don't want to do that. It's part of a growth lesson. When you're in this place here, everything is perfect. You don't have to worry. Life just goes on over here and you can do this. It's a little bit like spinning plates. So if you're spinning this plate in your higher knowing, and life is here, this plate, see the difference? You keep your focus transfixed on this one, spinning this plate. But this plate is spinning at the same time. But you're not doing this. The minute you're not focusing on this, but you're focusing here, you can do anything. You are so powerful that life just becomes a breeze. It becomes easy. So be grateful for everything in your life, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because it's all growth lessons. Don't blame anyone else for things that happen in your life. Take responsibility. If you have spilt ink from the photocopier on the carpet at work, put your hand up. I'm really sorry. Don't be going, I'm not going to take the blame. You're back over here. I might get the sack. I wish I'd never done that. Should I own up? Back in the mud again. Own up. To be in control of your life and the decisions that you're making means you're doing that. Mind can't get involved again. So look out for this feeling of shininess, of cleanness, of letting everything go, where you start feeling incredible. You start physically feeling lighter in your being. Be grateful for everything in your life. The universe always gives us exactly what we need when we need it. When you get into trust, which is what we're going to start looking at next week, you get into this beautiful rhythm and flow of the universe. This is the place that you want to be, where you just feel as though everything is perfect. The universe is a million steps ahead of us. It knows what we need. It knows who to bring into our life. It's only when we put up these barriers that it then gives us what we're asking for. So if we're saying, I'm scared, or it's his fault, this is being mirrored back to us. So we're actually asking for things that are going to cause us pain. My saying at the moment is, I'm the luckiest girl on earth. Now, the universe can't do anything wrong with that. It can only send me back, I'm the luckiest girl on earth. So be careful what you're wishing for. It really works. So be careful what you're thinking, what you're mouthing, what you're saying, what you're writing. It makes a huge difference to your life. Practice gratitude every day. It's feeding your soul. It's keeping you conscious. It's keeping you out of your head. And when you master this and you become an abundance master, you end up spending less money because you're working less hours, which means that you're living more and you're raising your vibration to help you on your boat on the river. Yay! This is amazing. You get everything that you want because you're in perfect rhythm with the universe. It takes some practice. It also takes trust, which is where I'm taking you next. But we have to do all these steps first. So just make sure that you're doing all the work. We will get there. Pain, as I said at the beginning, is the biggest motivator. and it forces us to stop and to do this work. If life was just perfect all the time with no drama, well, we'd be dead because that's flatlining. Humans like drama. We like all of this, but we don't need to get stuck in it. We can have it as part of life's undulating journey, but we're in this place here. This is really the secret. And finding the treasure is absolutely the way of diffusing the mind's grip on you and keeping you in fear. So make sure that you spend time on this step this week. It's really important that you allow yourself to let go, to be able to move forward to now fifth dimension. We're going to be going over the next 2 lessons, which is really exciting. You're going to have some eureka moments. So carry on with all your spiritual practice, carry on with your affirmations, carry on journaling. Make sure that you put all of this work of forgiveness into your journal, so you've got all of this as a point of reference to come back. It may be you have to do this forgiveness thing a couple of times. You can always have a look after you've done the work. Is there anything left? Is there any toxic smoke still left in me? Or have I managed to get rid of it all? Doesn't matter if it takes a little bit of time. It makes the difference of your well-being, of your physical well-being. You will notice a huge difference in the way that you feel after this week. So this is the end of your beautiful lesson for today. I look forward next week to explaining and sharing with you some other techniques and tricks to keep you out of the mud. The mind is going to try and get busy this week. It's going to try and come in back doors and drag you over there. Jump into gratitude. Keep yourself humble. Keep yourself in nature. Work from here. Love yourself like a king and a queen. King or queen. And I will see you next week for another beautiful lesson. And I wish you a great week and well done. You're doing amazing. Bye.